A friend of mine invited me to attend his civil wedding ceremony. He said that both him and his fiancée were baptized Catholic, but neither actively practices the faith today. They do not plan to have their union blessed by a priest. Is it morally acceptable for me to attend the wedding ceremony? And if not, Father, how do I respectfully decline the invitation?
This is such a common issue. This is happening more and more. I'm dealing with parishioners all the time who are facing this. My family, we got an invitation just recently, right along these lines. So they're very touchy situations. People believe that they're entitled on their wedding day for some reason to do whatever they want without anyone else. Not that they need all sorts of input from everyone else, but without considering the effect or the context of or the situation of the people who are attending. And in many cases, these are families with, a strong Catholic foundation, and then maybe there's a generation or two that has sort of fallen away. But the expectation that you applaud whatever the context, circumstances of the wedding are, and this is with larger moral or other moral issues in the society at this point. If you don't applaud, then you're a criminal. It's not a valid wedding. If people are baptized, confirmed in the church, and then fall away and are married outside of what we would call canonical form, so there's not a dispensation granted, and so the church hasn't somehow, maybe there's a priest that's there to witness it with the blessing of the bishop or whatever. If that's not the case, then it's invalid due to what we would call defective form, because they don't have a Catholic form to their marriage. So because it's invalid, there's not a sacramental wedding happening, or the phrase we would use in the East is the divine mystery of marriage. So there's a real civil contract happening, but there's not a marriage in a sacramental sense. And so that mystery and the grace of that mystery is lacking. So the risk is for a Catholic to attend that is in causing scandal. You put a stumbling block before the salvation of others. So there isn't a strict prohibition on this, but all of the sort of places where the church addresses it, there's a tremendous prudence caution. And I would really, I couldn't see myself attending a ceremony like that. It's a delicate one. I would really suggest praying over the wording of how you decline. If you're choosing to decline, pray over the wording, and you can thank them and be polite and all of that. But there's always the possibility, if you're not doing it in a way that's like overtly uncharitable, there's the possibility it didn't cross their mind, and it may be an opportunity or moment for conversion. You can still be loving, but at the same time, there are many instances like this can be opportunities for conversion, though. That's what I would say.
It really is an anguishing decision. It strikes me as two things. Number one, how we as Catholics trying to live out the fullness of the faith are often on the back foot when it comes to this question, right? It's, I would think that if I was myself, Jordan, getting married outside the church, I would kind of, in my head, I feel like I've been catechized enough to know better than to think, I'm just going to ask my parents to show up. And if they don't, then I'm going to cause some wedge in the family. But the second thing is, I think it just speaks to a lack of understanding of marriage, even on our own parts, right? We kind of forget the deep sacramental reality. We kind of really have assumed a lot of the secular culture's attitude on marriage, which is why we say, well, what's the difference? Does it really matter? It's all those kind of things.
It's one of the main things when I counsel people about marriage, or marriage is relevant to any spiritual guidance I'm giving, is to direct them to invoke specifically with God when they pray the mystery and the grace of that, of their marriage specifically. They're promised, it's a sacrament, it's divine mystery. They're promised grace, and the grace particularly that's beautiful in the Eastern liturgy where we crown both of them. It shows that they're helping, and the crowns are tied together. I had the specific sort of experience myself the day after I was married. I just noticed things were different on a spiritual level, that there was a grace that hadn't been there before. So it's a very real thing, and the tragedy is for people to not know that it's there, or know that they need to draw on it and turn to the Lord to invoke his promises. He doesn't promise things in vain. He promises them because he intends and wants us to seek to live them out.